Welcome back, students. Welcome in your science lesson, right? And week 9, day 1, right? This is our new week, and today is the first day of this week, right? Now, tell me, students, what was the topic that we were doing last week, that we actually have done last week? Yes, correct. We have done about the habitat of different animals. That why do animals they adapt itself? How do they adapt to the different environmental conditions, right? In which we have done, I have shown you the presentation, I have shown you the video in which there were different animals who live at different places. They adapt itself to different environmental conditions, so their habitats are also different, right? And in that, what we discussed basically was about the animals who lives in a forest. We discussed the forest animals, right? Now, I'm going to show you a picture in which you can see the habitat of different animals. There you go. I hope you can see my screen, right? Now you can see it's a picture in which there are different types of animals living at different places. Now, this is the first picture is of a spider. Spider is an insect, and its spider lives in a web. And this is a picture of a pig. It's a farm animal, so it lives in a farm. This is a picture of a bird. Bird lives in a nest. This is a picture of a bee. Bee lives in a beehive. These are the water animals like a frog. It lives in a pond. It's a dog. Dog lives in a kennel. And these are the fish. It lives in water. It could be aquarium. It could be sea. It could be ocean. And these are rabbits. Rabbits lives in a burrow or in a cage. And these are different birds. They have made their den. And this is another animal that is a horse. Horse also lives in the horse cage or a kennel or a hut. Now these are ants. Ants also live in sand, in soil. They mostly lives in sand. And these are fox. They lives in forest. Here it's a parrot. Parrot lives in a cage. Here it's a chicken. Chicken can live in a forest. It's basically a forest animal. A farm animal. It can live in cages also. It can live on the farm as well. And these are, you can see dog. A dog also lives in a kennel. And this is a bear. Bear lives in a den. So these are different types of animals who lives in different places. In the same way, I've also shown you the pictures and presentation of animals who lives in jungle, animals who lives in a forest, animals who lives in a water, in sea, right? And there were animals who lives on trees, right? Like birds, like monkeys, and what else? There were different animals who lives you can see in in the different places, like in houses, like the pet animals, like dogs, like cats, right? These are, you can keep them as a pet, so they can live in your home also, in your house also, right? Like cats can live in your house, but they need a basket. They can live in a basket. Dogs lives in a kennel. It can also be your pet animal, right? So this was what we discussed last week. Now, gradually we are going to discuss the animals that lives in different places. Like we discussed the animals who lives in forest, right? So today what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss about the animals who lives in desert area. So we will discuss desert animals. Have you seen desert? You have seen in pictures, you have seen in movies. Have you been to an area which is a desert area? Yes, you can go to UAE where you will find lots of desert there in Dubai, in Sharjah, because it's basically built on desert, right? It's a big desert area where they have built the whole city, the whole towns are made over there, right? So I'm going to show you a picture of a desert, right? So you can easily see what happens. Now this is a picture of a desert area. You can see in desert, what do you find? What do you find there? There is lots and lots of sand. There are sand mountains. And so are there trees there in the desert? Can you find trees in the desert? No, there are no trees in the desert. There are only sand. It's built on sand. It's all covered with sand. You can see these are sand mountains here. But the only plant that grows is a cactus. You can see cactus here. You can see different camels here. Yes. So a desert area is basically what? What is a desert area? What do you find there? What is there which is in the desert? Are there trees? No, there are no trees. There are no type of greenery is there. No other big mountains are there. Only the mountains are built with sand. There are sand mountains, right? And what happens in the desert? There is no water. You will not find water there. With the water which you will find is very, very less. So that is why it's very difficult to live in the area which is desert. It's very difficult to survive in desert area because there is less water. There is no water. Yet there are some animals, there are some plants who can survive there in desert area. Why? Because they can adapt itself to that environmental conditions. They can adapt themselves to that situation. They have that thing in their bodies that can store water, that they can live without water for lots of days, right? So that's why they can easily live in desert. And what are those animals and what are those plants? I'm going to show you a picture of that. Now you saw this desert area and now you can easily see a picture of desert animals. Now which are these animals? You can see a camel. Camel can live in desert. Why? Because it can store water in its hump. You can see this big hump. This is called the hump of a camel. And the camel, they can easily store water in its hump and it can live without water for many days. You can see, you can find snakes also there. There are lots of snakes in desert area. There are foxes also, but not that much, but few of them. So there are these palm trees in desert because they can easily grow in desert area, right? So which animal can survive in desert? Basically, it's a camel, snake, and then you can also find some fox over there. Now, you can see this is a picture of the animals and plants in desert. You can see snakes are there. You can see lizards are there. Some bears also you can find. You can find some birds also there, few of them. You can find this sand mountains in the desert area. And which plant is this? Remember we discussed this before? It's a cactus. Cactus is the main plant that grows in desert area only. You can see this is also cactus. These are small cactus. You can see these type of trees. You can see ants. You can see cockroaches. You can see crabs, snake, and this plant, a snail. These are all the animals that grows in desert, that lives in a desert area. And why do they live in desert area? Like I have told you, because they can easily adapt itself to the environmental conditions. How does a cactus adapt itself? Yes, because a cactus can easily store lots of water in its leaves. That's why you see the cactus leaves are so fat. You just now saw that, how fat the cactus leaves were, because it can easily store water in its leaf and it can survive lots and lots of days without water. That is why they can easily live in desert, although it's very difficult to survive in desert area because there is no water. There is water, but the water is very, very less, right? So you understood what are the animals that lives in desert? Camel, snake, you can find. Then you can find ants over there. You can find lizards, lots of lizards. You can find cockroaches, right? You can find spiders, right? And you can find sometimes foxes are also there. And which is the basic plant that grows in desert? It is the cactus and the palm trees also, right? These are the two plants, the cactus plant and the palm trees. This is found in desert area, right? So now what I want you is, you are going to show a desert area in your notebooks. You are going to draw desert area, and in that desert area you can draw the things that are found over there. Like you can draw a small camel, you can draw cactus plants, you can draw snake, you can the things, the animals and plants we just now discussed. Show those things in your drawing, and later on write 2 lines about it, that this is a picture of a desert area and we can find these animals, write the names of animals and write the names of plants. This is your task. And since it is writing and drawing, so I'm going to give you 10 minutes, right? So your time starts now. Okay, time is up. Now show me your drawings. Wow, that's great. Wow, it's such a nice picture of a desert. Wow, you are a great drawing person. You know how to draw nice pictures. Wow, Amir, that's great. Very good. Now, can you just tell me what you have written also? Read it out, please, Amir. Wow, this is a picture of a desert area, and we can find the following animals in the desert area. The animals are camel, snake, lizard, cockroach. You have written spider. Very good. Wow, that's so nice. I'm so happy for you all. That's great job. Wow, very good. That's very nice. So it means that the desert animals it's very, very clear to you all. If somebody comes and asks you, what are the desert animals? You will be able to answer, right? And you know very well which is the plant that grows in desert area. And why do they grow over there? Because it can easily adapt itself to the environmental conditions of a desert area, right? Exactly. So this is how we are going to keep on continuing about the animals. Where do they live? About the different areas animals, about the habitat of animals. Gradually we are going to discuss, like we have discussed the forest animals. Now we have discussed the desert animal. Now we are going to discuss the wild animals and so on. We will move on to these animals so that it is very, very, very clear in your minds. I'm not going to show you that video of edible of animals of habitat. You have seen that video many, many times in the class. Now do go to the website and watch it again. And in that video, again, you can see different animals living at different places. And in those, you can easily find out the desert animals as well. Okay, so do watch it. Do like those videos so that it is going to be saved for you. And what is for your homework, I'm going to explain you the picture which you have drawn just now in the class. You are going to color that picture. Okay, all right, so do the coloring and then show me your work tomorrow in your class. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Bye bye children, have a nice